In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called FluentCommunity. This is going to allow you to build and foster a community right within your WordPress website, rather than, say, relying on a third-party SaaS solution. Before we poke around the FluentCommunity website and then look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products and services that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, products, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for or sponsored and contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners, request your free lifetime partner membership. And we thank FluentCommunity and the team behind it over at WP Managed Ninja for being a partner. If you go over to our website, find the deal section, and you can find an exclusive deal. At the time of this recording, they do have a summer sale going on, so you will want to grab that directly from their website rather than going to InfluenceWP. But if you happen to see this video after that sale ends, go over to our site and grab the exclusive deal. Alrighty, let's poke around the website. As I typically do, I just go right down into the footer unless something catches my eye. And let's see what we can see here. Let's go check out the About Us page. Let's look at the features page. Let's look at the documentation. So here we see some comparisons, like versus BuddyBoss versus Circle. I actually have a Circle community. So my understanding from what I've read and heard that FluentCommunity looks a lot like Circle. So although this is a first look video, if that is true about Circle, then I'm probably going to sound like I know what I'm talking about a little bit more than I typically would in a first look video. Okay, what else? You can follow them, their WordPress profiles. They're on Facebook. They've got a YouTube channel. They're on X, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. They go through some various use cases here if you want to check all of those out. Okay, I think that's good to get us started. So here we have the About page. Again, Managed Ninja, WP Managed Ninja is the company behind this, and they have a whole suite of products. Very reputable team, been around a long time in WordPress. Just well respected for who they are, what they do, what they build. So very good About Us page. Here we have the features, solid community and LMS features you need to thrive. Community dashboard, spaces, activity feeds, profiles, posts, chats, comments, and reactions. I'm just going to go really fast through these. I just want to make sure I mention all of the features in case I miss something as part of the looking at the product together. Leaderboards, mentions, hashtags. If you use social media at all, you know what that's for. So hashtags are for. Search capabilities, privacy, polls and surveys, course builder, lesson modules, lesson discussions, student management, progress tracking. So this whole course management, ability to build courses right within this solution. Notifications, media uploads, GIFs or GIFs, however it is that you say that. Branding, customization for branding, custom sidebar links, welcome messages, role manager, media storage, bookmarks, a directory built in, custom slugs, one-click migration from BuddyBoss and BuddyPress, user approvals, email digests, all activities, dark and light mode, lots and lots of stuff going on. Let's check out the docs. So we have a nice search feature here. Let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, search works well, and we see some nice documentation with screenshots. Very good. I'm going to pull this over to my other screen in case I need to reference the doc, or the docs, I should say. Alrighty, let's get to it. Let's check this out. So I've got a WordPress install, latest version of WordPress, default 2025 theme, pretty much nothing else going on. So clean install for the most part. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's add plugin. We're going to do a search in the WordPress repo for FluentCommunity. This is what they're calling. So I read the documentation before hitting record briefly. You install the base plugin and then you install the premium, the pro version from your account. So I'm going to do add plugin again, upload, Fluent Community Pro. Let's install it, activate it. Alrighty. So let's go down here. We see a Fluent Community menu item created. Let's click on that. Let's build your community together. Name your community. Let's just call it InfluenceWP Community. Community portal URL. So it defaults to portal. Let's change this to community. You can upload a logo. We're going to skip that for now just because that's pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to continue. We have the option to pick a template. So this is already looking like Circle. So if you've ever used Circle before, this is really cool. You can choose basic. Maybe you're specializing in building courses for your community. Maybe you have a product, or you just start blank. We're going to go basic. Who can access your portal? We're just going to go with everyone public, but you can choose only logged in users. Integrated marketing automation. So Fluent CRM is one of their products, and they are ticking the box here to automatically include Fluent CRM if that's something that you are interested in. I'm going to untick that just for the purposes of this video. Reliable, I'd probably use that in real life if I was really building this out, but we're just going to untick that just to keep things simple. Reliable email delivery with Fluent SMTP. That is a free plugin of theirs. That is a really good plugin. So I do have experience with that, and it's totally free. But that's going to help with the previous one, marketing automation. Think about your marketing. You're sending emails to marketing to people, right? This one with the Fluent SMTP is more like the transactional email, so like password resets and things of that nature that aren't marketing related. I'm going to go ahead and untick that just for the purposes of this video, because otherwise it's going to install those plugins, add some other stuff. We're just going to opt out of that. Get feature updates via email. So this is basically subscribing to their newsletter. I'm going to uncheck that for the purposes of this video. Down here, we have the option to help improve the product by sharing non-sensitive information with them. That's good to see that they don't check that by default. Some vendors don't follow that practice. All right, let's save and finish. All right, right off the bat, your community says your community is ready. Go to the portal. There we go. Looks like there's a bit of an issue here. Maybe it doesn't like the word community. So I'm going to go to portal settings here. Yeah, it didn't like that either. Need to get into the actual settings. Change community URL. Maybe there we go. Okay. So we have communities is our URL. Let's change this back to portal. Now let's review the portal again, or preview it. Go to portal. There we go. Okay, so it doesn't like community for some reason. Let's go back. Let's try to flip it back. There we go. Okay, so if you're watching this Fluent Community team, I think you see that there's a bit of an issue there. Maybe that's a known issue already, but I think a lot of people are going to rename portal to community. Just my opinion. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard and see what we see. Let's license this up just in case it unlocks something. Because after all, we are reviewing the pro version. So let's go license this up. License is valid and activated. Back to settings. Okay, let's go to portal settings. Yes, this looks very much like Circle, which I love Circle, but I think this is, I can tell already, this is probably something that I'm going to switch to because it's Circle. So Yeah, as far as the community goes, I mean, it's Circle. There are things that Circle they're launching, like the web page builder they just announced. Shouldn't say web page, website builder. So there is that aspect that is missing, and but if that's not necessarily that important because we have WordPress, right, and we can build websites that way. So no harm, no foul there. Okay, so general settings here for the portal. Name your community, site logo, brand it all up, adjust the permalinks, get your SEO, open graph images in there. Just all kinds of settings here to go with. You can customize login sign up forms. Let's go ahead and check that one out. Again, this is just a very high level introduction. We're not going to dive into every single thing. It's just to show you general idea of what's possible. So here's which one is this? This is our login form. Okay, so we can change, let's say the banner. Let's try changing some fields. Okay, so you can change the text, button labels. You can flip flop the order of which things appear, like maybe put a banner below instead of on top. Oh, that's okay. So left or right there. Okay, cool. Let's check out the sign up form. Let's edit the form. Here we can change. Here we can actually change the fields. Can we? Maybe not. Okay, let's go back again. I feel like we should be able to change those fields. Let's go sign up form, fields. Okay, maybe those are just what they are. All right, no big deal. Let's go over to customizations. Customize the UI features of the portal. So enable dark mode, sticky page headers. We're not going to go through all of this stuff. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you go in and want to configure this however you want to lay this stuff out, how you want the colors to be and the branding and all of that. Down here, we see that you can add custom code snippets, whether it's CSS or JavaScript, which is cool. Let's go over to managers. So if you have someone that's additional team members that are helping you manage the community, come in here, add manager, select the user account, choose the access that they have to the various spaces, which we will get to in a bit. Moving on down, we have the email settings. So you set who your emails are from, the from email, reply to email, email footer settings, logos, email notification settings, so you can define when things go out. The weekly digest thing. So if you happen to use Circle, you'll be familiar with that digest. So it's basically a weekly roundup of everything that's happened in your community and just automatically gets pushed out to your community. So you can enable that right here, which is very cool, and choose what day and what time that goes out. Let's go to features and add-ons. So we have a leaderboards module, user badges, course module, Giphy module, emoji module, media module, which says local here. Let's see what that means. Choose where to store your media files. Okay, let's click configure local. Okay, cool. So we can do it right on the server. We can do it in Cloudflare, Amazon S3, Bunny CDN. Super cool to have the option to offload your media. Profile social media links if you want to enable and disable that. But obviously, you can dive into each of these individual settings and features and configure the settings for each of them. We can set up new badges, like for example, InfluenceWP as partners. I can come in here and say that is something I would do. I would say I'd probably just call it partner. We could choose the color. So let's see the background. See the InfluenceWP branding of blue. Text be white, maybe. There we go. Cool. So set up the badges. Let's get out of that. Emoji module. Let's go in there. That's always fun. Okay, that's just a toggle switch, basically. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Recommended plugins and add-ons. So here you see the Fluent family products available, but it's really cool that they just right from here, click install, drop it in. Not sure what happened there. Oh, that's because it's not installed. That makes sense. So maybe Fluent Team, if you're watching this, maybe try to hide those buttons until the solution is actually installed. Yeah, not a big deal either way, but just something to keep in mind. Let's go to manage topics. So when you're setting up, again, I'm able to speak to this because it's just like Circle. I keep saying that, but topics are like when someone goes to post something in your community, you can allow them to select a topic or force them to select a topic to stay on topic, if you will. So let's do new topic. We just call this partnerships. Should be able to leave the slug alone. Topic subtitle, we'll leave that alone. Space visibility. So which spaces does this topic apply to? All right, so you can choose that. And then you can choose if only admins and moderators can select this topic. Let's click save. With that topic chosen, let's go to the portal. Let's refresh. I'm going to do a test post for topic. I'm going to select my space. Let's go start here. We'll go start here. I don't see the option to select a topic. Let's go back to topics, edit. Let's manually select a space. Let's do the start here. Save, refresh, test, select space, start here. We now have the ability to select a topic. So another bit of feedback for the Fluent team. Let me just make sure one more time and make sure I saw that correctly. Yep. So a little feedback for the Fluent team again. I think that's how it works on Circle. If we don't select a specific space in here, the topic should be available to all spaces. So just a personal opinion of mine. I think that should be a feature. Okay, so that is how topics work. And then let's see what they have for settings here next to new topic. You can choose the maximum number of topics a user can select, the maximum number of topics a space can have, show hide topics on postcard, and then you can show topics on postcards. So let's go ahead and let's go back into here. Let's allow that topic to be used in the start here space. Let's create a new post. Select the space, choose our topic, and post. Message is required. Okay, so we've got the test message. There we go. Post. There we go. And I think we said that you should be able to see the topic within the post card. Let's go back to topics, edit. Where did I see that? Topic title, slug, tone. Okay. Oh, up here. It was up here under settings. Show topics on post card. Okay. So it could be a space issue where we don't have the space configured to show post cards. But we will look at that here in a second. Okay, let's go back to the settings. Let's go to space groups. So what this is you can group individual spaces into groups, like if you want to assign granular permissions, or permissions based on the entire group. So that applies to all the spaces in that case. So that's just an example there. So we see here that the default group space contains the start here and say hello spaces. Let's create a new group. Test group. You can add a description if you want. We are going to skip that. Appearance, show spaces even if the user is not a member of any space. We'll go ahead and just go with that. Create. This one does require a field. Okay. So if you're caring about SEO in this case, you could pretend that you have a group title here and you want to do an SEO related Slug, you could do like WordPress WordPress Pros. I'm just making something up there on the fly. Have a little bit of SEO juice in there, if you will. Let's click create. So now we have that group, the new space group. Let's go down to menu settings, primary menu items. So if we go back into our portal, we see that over here on the left, this is our navigation. We have feed at the top and then the get started group and then the spaces underneath that. So we kind of see that here, the feed and then the spaces. We don't have any courses, so they're not showing up, no members and no leaderboard at this point. The profile drop-down items, that is right here under the user account. So we see that reflected. MySpaces, not to be configured with the old MySpace. MySpaces, bookmarks, logouts. And then you can see here for all of these, you can edit those. You can add new links. So let's actually test that out. Let's add a new link. Test. Let's do primary menu link test. Drop a fake URL in there. And then you see here that you can configure this for a number of different ways, in a number of different ways. Let's save that. Let's go back to our portal, refresh. Oh, yeah, so it's up here actually, my bad. So we see that link being added up there. Profile drop-down items, let's add a link there to test it. Profile menu drop-down, let's do a fake URL, save. Go up under our menu, our user account. We might need to refresh. Let's refresh. There we go. So there's that new link we created. Top links. Okay, here we go. That's what I misunderstood. Top links at sidebar. Let's add a new link. Top links link. Top links link test. Fake URL, save, refresh. There we go. Alrighty, moving on down. Sidebar bottom link groups. Let's add that. Sidebar bottom link test. Drop a fake URL. Let's save, refresh. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. We can add additional groups here, it looks like. Very cool. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to content moderation. Enable content moderation, which I highly recommend you do. If you've ever run a community before, then you'll know how important moderation is. So we have the option here to sort by pending, flagged, ignored, unpublished. Let's go to settings. We can set profanity filter. So based on certain words we enter in here, we can block. We can flag a post or comment after reported a certain number of times. So maybe you want to say the first time that a post is reported, it's going to get flagged. Or maybe you give a little bit more leniency. It's just totally up to you how you want to do that, or say 0. So as it says here, after how many reports a piece of content will be unpublished automatically. Keep 0 to disable this feature. Mark all posts as pending. So maybe you're just starting out your community and you want people to prove themselves and make sure that they're acting as adults and not bad actors and good community members. And you want to just approve all posts until you see that they're acting accordingly. Then maybe you can remove that. Another way you could do it is require approval of the first post. So a new user comes into your community, they make the first post. You want to look that over and then approve it, and then they show that they can be a good community member, and then going forward they're good to go, unless you single them out and block them or whatever. Mark all new posts as pending in the given spaces, so you can get granular with which spaces that posts need to be pre-approved for. So super cool. Let's go to privacy settings. Customize the privacy and compliance settings to your needs. Who can view the all members page? So maybe you don't want people seeing all of your members by default. Who can view the leaderboard top members? Who can view members and spaces? Who can view membership spaces on the user profile page. Okay, we won't go through all of these. Just know that there's a lot of privacy settings. Access management. Automate your course or space access with Fluent CRM tags. Okay, so if you were to go and put Fluent CRM on your site, which I would recommend that you probably do if you want, I'd probably recommend it based on what I know that it does. I have yet to do a video on it. We'll do that. But basically, it's tagging your users, community members, whatever, customers, and tagging them. And then you can do all kinds of things once you have a tag on those people. But as it says here, control user access to different spaces and courses of your portal based on the contact tags. There's a lot you can do. We won't get into that. Let's go to incoming webhooks. So I always forget what webhooks, like the actual definition of that is. Let me just quickly figure that out. What is a webhook? Okay, a webhook is a lightweight, event-driven communication that automatically sends data between applications via HTTP. Triggered by specific events, webhooks automate communications between APIs and can be used to activate workflows and so on and so forth. So that is that. We can go add new webhook, give it a title, add it to a specific space, add it to specific courses, remove from spaces, remove from courses, and send a default WordPress welcome email for new users. Okay, so that's a way to automate some stuff and do other things. Let's go to tools. Here it looks like we have a sitemap. Sitemap is configured and generated automatically. So let's take a look at that. So this is great. This is great for SEO. When we looked earlier at the slugs, and I was talking about designing the slug for SEO. So that's where that, one place that comes into play is listed with things are listed within the sitemap. Alrighty, let's go to manage courses, create a course. All right, we're not going to run through all of this. Again, this is not a tutorial. This is more of just a high level introduction of what's possible with FluentCommunity. Super, super cool. I'm just glancing through this real quick. All right, so just know you can create a course. Let's go under reports and analytics. So we have some nice analytics for what's going on within your community. Number of members, posts, comments, spaces. We can toggle this between posts, comments, members. Very cool. Let's go. So this is the overview. Let's go to members. So then we get total members, active members, new members, pending members, top members, post starters, top commenters. We go to spaces. We see total spaces, total posts, total comments, total members, popular spaces. All right, that is cool. Let's go up here to the top right. Just noticed this, customize colors. Okay, we are in dark mode right now, but looks like we can change the schema of that dark mode, the color schema. So I'm going to go with ocean blue, which kind of matches InfluenceWP. But you do have the option under light mode to choose a schema, but we are under dark mode, ocean blue at this time. Let's save settings. Another thing that just popped up that I noticed is complete your profile. Let's check that out. All right, so we can put our information in here, short bio, email, website address, social links. And remember, all of this is customizable. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know. I just remember that social links was actually an option that you could turn off if you don't want to include that. What else? Mark this account as verified. So if you, the admin, come in and you want to do this for your people, you could do that. There might be a way to automate this as well. You can also add profile badges. Say I'm a partner, mark as verified. Access status currently is active. Okay. Community account username. You can actually change that. That's cool. All right, let's click Save Settings. And can I view my profile on the front end? Okay, there we go. So that's what it's going to look on the front end. You can upload a cover image. Let's go to posts. So there's the post that I made, the spaces that I belong to, and you can customize the spaces too. If it's anything like Circle, which I'm confident it is, you can configure your spaces. We need to go do that actually. So and then any comments this person made. All right. So I am the admin, obviously. So I'm going to go over here and figure out how to customize these spaces. Space settings. So I'm up here in the top right. Okay, here we go. So we can set an icon, a space title, change the slug if we want, put a description, nice description in there, let people know what that space is for. Menu group, you can choose where it appears in the menu. Privacy, whether it's public, private, or secret. Allow users to request to join the space. Who can view the space? Members only, admin, moderators only, any logged in users, anyone. Just like Circle. Features, customization, only admins or moderators can create a post in this particular space. You can lock that down. Show right sidebar on space, hide members count from the space, enable file document library from the space, default post sorting. So you have a lot of options there. Disable post sort by options. So if you don't want them to have that option, maybe you set it as the admin, but you don't want the users to be able to do that. Here is the style. Okay, so there was that thing I was curious about, and that was the badges. The topic wasn't showing on the cards. So if we go back into the feed, and this is my card, I didn't see that topic, and the topic was, I already forgot what the topic was. Oh no, it is there. That's my bad. Right there. I just missed it. That was the tag or the topic. Anyway, we can change the layout to list instead of timeline. We can check that out. So I thought we did that there we go. So now it flipped it over to list view. So it's more compact. All right, topic navigation. So here you can set that. We see here, let me get out of this. Back home, there we go. So over here, we see the topic, this is the topic navigation. Okay, so we can add more to the navigation for topics. So we see that here. I forget where that actually appears. Topic navigation. Sorry about that. I am manage all topics. New topic. Okay, we already went through all of that. Topic navigation. Categorize your posts and allow members to filter spaces with the topic navigation bar. You can define up to 20 topics per space. All right, here we go, right here. So if we came in here and we did new topic, call this test, add it to the space. Remember, at this time, we have to add it to the specific space. Let's save it. So now when I refresh this, we should see a test menu item right here. There we go. Very cool. All right. What else? What else? What else? Thumbnail, open graph image. They give you nice recommendations for the images there. Whether it's the open graph image, the featured image. Cool, cool. All right. So that is that. So with that post, we can favorite or like or heart the posts. We can come in and make a comment on a post. We can add emojis because we've enabled that package. We can add an image. Don't have any on my computer to do that with. It's post. Comments posted. So now if I go into my account, we should see my comment. There it is. Can trash the comment. All right, guys. Let's see. So let's go feed. Spaces, courses, we don't have any members. So this will be where all the members are. You can see who's active, who's blocked. You can search, sort by latest activity, display name, joining date, leaderboard. So this is really cool, some gamification. And that's that custom primary link that we created. All right, I think that's enough, guys. I think we've done a good introduction here. I would recommend definitely go over to the website. I forgot to mention is FluentCommunity.co, so .co. I do recommend going over to the docs and just the whole site in general, and just poke around. One thing that I may do, probably will do in a future video, because I'm 99.9% sure I'm going to replace Circle with this. Actually, I'm going to. Just going to say it right now. Is just how, monetization type of stuff. I'm not sure if that's even a part of this. So if like you can do paywalls, like you can with Circle, that kind of thing. Anyway, we won't get into that in this video. We'll do that for another time. But I think you guys get the idea. I invite you to go over to FluentCommunity.co, check it out, poke around, check out the roadmap. It's got a very, very active roadmap, very healthy roadmap. Do some feature requests, do all that kind of stuff. And lastly, again, thank you, FluentCommunity, WP Managed Ninja, for being a partner. Go over to InfluenceWP.com, find the deal section, do a search for FluentCommunity, grab that exclusive deal. But one last time, at the time of this recording, they have a big summer sale going on. So go over to their site and grab that up if it's still going on by the time you see this video. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.